going on, people? We're going to be resuming our prophecy redesign series shortly, but with actually tonight, so by early this morning, but by tomorrow, I guess, the Elder Scrolls Legends Asia will be entering their commercial launch. It just means that they'll be encompassing more of the Asian countries, and we are getting some spicy changes as a result. The biggest one that I wanted to talk about and start talking about is this one right here. The total number of cards required for a deck has been reduced from 50 to 40, which means you only need 40 cards to build a deck now. If you played the Micro Gauntlet, I think it was the Micro Gauntlet, or the Mini Gauntlet, or whatever it was on the original client, it was a 40-card deck. That is now the norm in Legends Asia. And this is going to have a ton of implications on the game, if I'm being honest. Things like Aggro Crusader, I think, are where my brain instantly goes to, as far as these decks are going to get a lot scarier, and they're definitely going to be much more consistent. Decks across the board are going to be much more consistent, which I think in a game where you only get 3 cards in your starting hand, having a more consistent deck should lead to a better feeling experience. One of the things that I'm looking forward to personally, since I like to meme, is a smaller, more consistent deck means you can build around a singular card better than you could in a 50-card deck. Meaning if I wanted to build a card around a particular unique legendary, it is now much more viable than it was in a 50-card deck. Things like combo decks, I expect... Skeevers isn't quite a combo deck, but Skeevers I think is going to get a lot better. Ungolem across the board is a huge buff. I think Market Archer is going to be incredible as long as they can stave off that initial aggro push. And that's going to be the thing, is I think decks as a whole will have less ability to kind of tech in one-card answers. So like your aggro deck might not be able to tech in a 1 of or 2 of or whatever of Skaven Pyromancer to beat tokens, or you might not be able to toss in support removal into your deck, because every card is going to matter that much more, because all decks will be more consistent, which means if you are tossing in a tech card to try and answer one specific deck or one specific archetype, your deck gets that much more inconsistent and your opponent can achieve their game plan better. So I think decks are going to have to be more focused in what they want to do. But also, I think the decks that I like to play, like I can now build a much more consistent Slay Scout and make sure that I'm drawing just good Slay cards. You need less filler. Like, at this point in the client's life, I think going from 50 cards to 40 cards, and we were talking about this a little bit in the Discord, Dwemer aren't too far off from being viable now, because you need less filler. All we need is like Steam Constructor and or Dwarven Dynamo, and like despite the fact that we're still missing a lot of the powerful neutral cards that came later in the game's life, Dwemer will already be somewhat viable, because you're going to get your Halls of the Dwemer that much more consistently, and you just don't need that many filler neutral cards. So 40 card decks are going to be gigantic. It's a seismic change to this game. I don't want to say completely forget about everything you knew about what decks were powerful, but everything will take a new look. You're going to have to relook at everything to see, is this deck as good as it was, or will this deck be better? What do I trim down from 50 down to 40? It's going to be a lot of fun. Next up, we've got the deck copy features going from 1 gold to 5. It's still a very minor change, but it is bonus gold for the people who are getting their decks copied. And before, the 1 gold really didn't make a difference. We've got extra login rewards for the launch week celebration. I'm sorry, let me close Discord. I don't know why they're going ham right now. I don't know what those rewards will be, but I'm assuming that they are in addition to or upgraded rewards from our regular daily login rewards. This is a feature that I think is going to be really, really cool. If you're playing against an opponent and you see a title or a card back that you want and you don't know how to get, you can click on your opponent's title or card back and the game will tell you details of how to get that in-game. I think that is a really, really cool quality of life feature. Not as important for people like me, but I know there's a lot of people who really like stuff like that. So I think it's going to be a great bonus for them. This I can't really speak to until I get to see it. but apparently they are making some changes to the UI as a whole. Again, I can't comment on it because I didn't really give details on what's changing, how minor or major those changes will be. So maybe we'll talk about those tomorrow once the patch launches. And finally, this is one of the biggest changes that I've been kind of pleading the devs to make. Rather than reset the leaderboard seasonally, which was every 3 months, they'll be resetting leaderboards on the 1st of every month. I just think it was a big needed change. As the game is still gaining population, and just in general, you hit Legend over the first, couple weeks of the first month, and then it was actively bad to play ranked from that month forward. So, like in my situation, I hit Legend, I think, 4 days into, not even 4 days, it was probably like 3 days into the first month. And then for the last 3 months, I haven't touched ranked. Just because it's too risky to your status. So I think this will help keep ranked active, resetting it every month. And we're getting a new hero pass, so it's extra bonus greatness. So yeah, I just wanted to cover some of the kind of seismic changes, mainly the 40 card deck change that is coming to Legends Asia. This just goes to show that these guys are incredibly serious about this game succeeding, and they are not afraid to make big, bold moves to make that happen. I don't know what else they have planned, but if these are the kinds of moves they're willing to make sure this game succeeds, I think the game is in very, very good hands, and I'm excited to see what else they do, both with expansions and further mechanics changes in the future. But yeah, that's going to be it for now, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.